Good morning, everyone. What sets your heart on fire? What sets your heart on fire? I mean, seriously, in a personal way, it's really important as we enter into the scriptures that are unfolding today that we take a moment, and I hope that you do that through the rest of this day. What really sets my heart on fire? When I think about back in the Navy, and was involved with some youth group organizations, and I remember a young man who was playing the guitar, and the way that it kind of drew everybody in, and it changed the atmosphere, and I was kind of enthralled with that, and I want to play the guitar. And so I remember being at work at the submarine base at Pearl Harbor and doing the really important stuff there, but the whole day I'm thinking about getting home and practicing that guitar, and I never really became all that good at it, but enough so that I can gather people and we can sing and have a good time. That was a passion for me at that time. Now, the guitar sits in the corner, and sometimes I take it out, but it was a passion. And I think about, how it set my heart on fire. I think about seminary and being in seminary, and there in seminary at Mount St. Mary's, it's a Division I school, smallest, I think, Division I school in Division I. A lot of kids come there, a lot of students come there so they can play Division I sports. And they have a large intramural sports program, and the seminarians were always involved in that. It was always fun to try and beat the college kids. And so one of the things that I got to participate in was intramural flag football and also softball. I remember the first 2 years we beat the college kids in the championship. They hated that, and but they stacked the team with all these Division I athletes. And I can remember being in class, learning about transubstantiation and the hypostatic union and the filioque and church history and all that. And all I could think about was getting out on that field and hoping that I would get the pass and dive and catch it, bring it in. Well, we won the championship. We beat the college kids. We all love that. I got to coach our softball team in the last year in seminary. We beat them again. So it was really, that was passion. That was passion in my heart. What's in your heart? What are you passionate about? What do you wake up thinking about? Is it your job? Is it money? Is it power? Is it prestige? Pleasures? Is it your children? What sets your heart on fire? Is it your spouse? Maybe not. All right, So, what sets your heart on fire? See, it's so important to take some moment and really see what is my heart on fire for now. And I get into that because it's important, because that is the way Jesus personally feels about you. It's real important for us to take that in. And the best way to get there is to get into what lights our heart on fire now. I mean, we look at the gospel, the road to Emmaus. Every single Catholic, and we should see that the road to Emmaus is the unfolding of the holy sacrifice of the Mass. So the first portion of the Mass is the liturgy of the Word. So here they're walking, and he is now taking Moses and the prophets and everything, and he's making the connections. It's so important that their hearts, what did he say? Were not our hearts burning within us when we walked along the way? So he's taken, that's what happens here. We read the scriptures, and hopefully I'm able to put them in a way that it begins to make those connections. See, their hearts were on fire because they came to the realization that he came into the world to take on our sin and to lay himself down for you and for me. That's how passionate he loves you personally. But sometimes it's hard to get there. So, let's start with our own passions. What really lights our heart on fire. And then when we're filled with that, then we can get a little taste. Because his passion for us is way more than what we could possibly experience for something here. And that's the first step. If you really want to enter into the love of God, and again, because they had that passion, they were able to recognize him in the breaking of the bread. It wasn't just something intellectual. They saw his very person there. Where's our understanding of the Eucharist? Well, we come to know more powerfully God's personal love for us when we first recognize his passion. But then you want to grow in God's personal passion and unrelenting love for you, do something for nothing. I'm not talking for your family. I'm not talking for your friends. I'm not talking for yourself or for your work. I'm saying do something for nothing. You don't want anything in return. You're pouring yourself out because ultimately that's what his love is. I mean, he loves us and he's pouring himself out for us. Well, all right, so my heart, I'm getting to it. Now my heart's on fire for Jesus. So what? Well, we look at the psalm. Lord, you will show us the path to life. When our heart is on fire for the love of God in Jesus Christ, for ourselves and for others, then he will bring us to a place that we never thought we could go. He will bring us to a place, to a height that we never even conceived was possible for us. And so again, what's your passion? What stirs you? I had the opportunity to celebrate Mass with sisters over at Sacred Heart of Mary yesterday morning, and then afterwards we did the yearly blessing of the convent, and then we sat down to breakfast and just talking around. One of the sisters, Sister Maria Paula, she was one of the 3 sisters that taught over at St. Joe's this semester, and also we had one sister teaching over at Madonna. And they're around the table, and I could just see it in her countenance. Sister Maria Paulus, she was so passionate about these snot-nosed our beloved children. And she was just talking about, and this is the difference between education and indoctrination, okay? All right, at their level, they ask questions, and we try and unfold it for them so that they can understand. But she was talking with such passion, and she was saying how blown away and how subtle the thought can be, even in small children. She was teaching first graders, and the first grader, she said, it was amazing because this first grader was grasping the secondary principle of causation. He said, "Sister," she said, "Yes, I have a question." Never know what you're going to get. All right, so he says, if God made humans and God made rocks, then does God make streets? And he was right. Yeah, he does make streets through secondary causality. Here he is, first grader, asking these deep philosophical and theological questions. She was able to say, that's right. Such a passion in her countenance, a passion for educating children. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if she grew up thinking that she was going to be a religious sister. But again, that fire of the love of God burned in her heart. So again, what is your passion? Drink it in, feel it to its height, and then realize that it is only a semblance of the passion that Jesus has for you and me personally. Once we recognize that, then do something for nothing, and it'll just enkindle that fire. And what is it going to do? He's going to bring us down the path of greatness and bring us to the heights that we never thought we were capable of, that we never even thought or even conceived that we could do.